I'm gonna try to get through this without crying a little bit. Before I start, I just wanna say, I thank you so much, Dean Onwuachi-Willig. I know that I speak for my class when I say it's such an honor and a privilege to be graduating BU Law under your leadership. So thank you. Good morning, distinguished faculty and staff, family, partners, friends, and graduates. To our family and friends, thank you. We could not have made it without your support and encouragement. And to my fellow graduates, here we are, the BU Law class of 2022, ready to be introduced to the world with our fancy new law degrees as members of the legal community. But how do we make sense of this new privilege in the context of all we have witnessed, both inside and outside of the classroom? We stand here at this precipice where I'd like to talk about hope, and I'll get to that part, I promise. But first, I can't help but reflect on the moment in which we are graduating. Just in the last few months, as we finally began to settle into all the twists and turns of these last 3 years, we are beginning to witness the global impacts of the Russia-Ukraine war and a plethora of challenging legal battles here in the United States. We have seen so much human suffering and experienced so many changing social and political landscapes. And still, here we are. Remember when we started law school back in the fall of 2019? It feels both like yesterday and lifetimes ago. We were all so nervous, about normal law school stuff. What's gonna happen when I get my first cold call? How do I brief a case? What in the world is an outline? I still remember spending 2 hours on a 5-page case and wondering, how am I ever going to be able to keep up at this rate? I remember how reassuring it felt that others were worried about the same thing. Our section began to feel like a little community. We all started getting the hang of things, even if cold calls didn't get any less scary. But we had a sense of shared pain, shared purpose. We started to learn that we could be all in this together. Fast forward to the end of the semester, that feeling of studying for finals without really knowing what we were actually going to be facing. And then that collective sigh of relief and exhaustion at the end of that last final. By the beginning of the second semester, we found out that, for the most part, the rumors had been true. The subject matter was different and still difficult, but now we knew what to expect. Step one, if we did well during the first semester, we just needed to keep up the momentum. And if we didn't do as well as we hoped, we at least had this semester to make up for it. Step two, find a decent summer opportunity. In retrospect, pretty simple. Then COVID-19 came. We went on spring break and never got to come back to campus that year. We were literally isolated from the new communities as the pandemic that took the lives of so many became our terrifying new reality. As if that wasn't enough, while at home and isolated, we collectively witnessed the continued murder of numerous Black lives, senseless and cruel anti-Asian violence, the proliferation of anti-Semitic attacks, and the list of tragedies went on and on. At the same time, our collective pain came hand in hand with beautiful movements of community care and witness, and an unprecedented amplification of national conversations about race and the oppressive histories experienced by people of color. Just days after we all watched the shocking images of individuals storming the US Capitol, Amanda Gorman reminded us that even when things seem grim, we have the power to prevail, collectively finding new spaces for laughter and hope. In fact, Even as we struggle with the possibility of new judicial precedents and questions about the highest court's ongoing legitimacy, we celebrate that just last month, Ketanji Brown Jackson became the first Black woman to be confirmed to the Supreme Court of the United States. And here is where my hope lies. I promised I'd get back here. As we graduate today and enter the legal profession, I ask us to consider what our collective legacy might be. Whatever our next steps, from corporate law to public service, will we leave those with whom we come in contact better than we found them? Will we examine the systems we are a part of and not settle for the status quo, but work to make them better? Will we acknowledge our shared humanity and build new communities as we did 3 years ago when we started this journey together? We have the opportunity and responsibility now to choose to be critical thinkers, movement builders, ethical leaders. Congratulations, BU Law class of 2022. I am so grateful to call you all my colleagues and my friends. I am so excited to see the futures we have yet to write and to look back together years from now and remember this moment as when amazing things flourished and new possibilities emerged. Thank you.